So recently there was a Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, which basically showed off all the features and the stuff about the Nintendo Switch 2, which is the upcoming big console after the Nintendo Switch 1, obviously. But, they showed off a bunch of games, even Elden Ring, but guess what? There was no Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. None at all. I originally saw one of these rumors, apparently one of these leakers or whoever, some guy called Extra whatever. According to him, Sparking Zero is planned to be released practically at the launch of the Switch 2. And I didn't really report this at the time because, well, I don't really know the guy and apparently he's been right about some stuff. However, regarding rumors and leaks, but guess what? It is not true at all. And quite frankly, I am not understanding what is going on with Bandai Namco. This game is freaking dead. We have nothing. There is no events, there is no constant content, there is garbage with this freaking game. Nothing at all. This moron company gives us a garbage story mode, little to no story, little to no content, and they have to go in and add in a bunch of stuff because they screwed up on the release. I bet you that they rushed this game for release for the Daima stuff. And now we don't even have, and it's like, okay, you have one of the biggest companies, Nintendo, at least in terms of the games and stuff. You have obviously there's Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, the big three when it comes to consoles. You feature Elden Ring, even if briefly, you feature Elden Ring in Bandai Namco's in Nintendo Direct stream, but you don't include Dragon Ball Sparking Zero? So basically, it's pretty much unknown if the game is going to even come out in release on the Nintendo Switch. And it's currently unknown if it will ever come to the Nintendo Switch 2. And even if it does come to the Nintendo Switch 2, there's no telling as to when it will come. It could be months, it could be days, it could be months, whatever. But the point is, you had an opportunity to feature your game and you screw up again. Just a stupid company this company is. What a dumb company. It's like, other than the PC handhelds, the Nintendo Switch gives you the opportunity to play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero anywhere you go and with, hypothetically, a good performance. But nope, they just want to say, nah, you know what? We got all of our things just from using our very few select content creators to make money off of us, keeping that shit exclusive, and then not even giving out a full demo of the fucking game to everyone, and then we'll just forget about it. No costumes, no constant content. Like, why was I even glazing this game? I'm just so angry because I got in with the hype that this game would be the best in the world, and you know what? It's basically it's almost irrelevant now because DLC 2 is probably not even gonna have Super Saiyan 4 Mini Goku. We'll just have the mini versions and it's just going to be a very disappointing thing, and it's delayed. What a joke. I really hope that I'm wrong and that tomorrow or very soon, they announce the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero for the Nintendo Switch 2. Because I'd love to play the game on it. I'd love to play the game on it on release, but I guess I gotta hear some garbage. We have to take a lot more time to make it compatible and make it playable in the Nintendo Switch 2 to make it the most ideal type of garbage excuses. A game like Dragon Ball Legends has the adult versions of Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta from Dragon Ball Daima, and they actually work pretty well, but we don't get that shit for games like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero till what? 4 months from now? 5 months from now? I'm exaggerating, but that's kind of like how it is because this company is just so stupid and out of touch. My point is that it basically feels like they basically abandoned this game after release and after the first DLC. Gave us a few patches here and there, and it's just not enough. The game is so disappointing for many people. Now let's move on to the Nintendo Switch news in case you plan on getting it, and in case, I guess, the game eventually does come out for the system. The Nintendo Switch 2 will pretty much cost, $450? That's pretty interesting. I wouldn't say it's so expensive, but that's mostly because I'm used to paying like hundreds of dollars, more than hundreds of dollars on Android smartphones. Pre-orders will be available on April 9th. So just a few days from now. I guess it'll be available for pre-order on the Nintendo website, I guess, and Amazon, hopefully. It'll also cost $333 in Japan. Display-wise, it will have a bigger screen and up to 120 FPS. So yeah, I mean, it's already looking more promising than the original Nintendo Switch, obviously, but still, as a person who likes handhelds, I love the idea of being able to play with my system everywhere I go. For the remainder of this video, I'm gonna use this to pretty much show off what the features and additions that the Nintendo Switch 2 has and pretty much changes and all that stuff. You know, so you can read it here. I'm just gonna talk for the rest of this video. Honestly, I really feel like, you know, outside of my rant, I really feel like they put in a lot more effort and a lot more heart into the mobile games. And I feel like with Dragon Ball, there's such a discontent between the people who like the console games and the people who like the mobile games. I love both types of games. I don't really care about Dokkan, but I love Dragon Ball Legends and I love the console games. But I think there's such a huge amount of people from the console side who don't give a crap about the mobile games. And likewise, I think that there are people in the mobile space who don't really care about the console games. And it's just a shame to see that this game, this Dragon Ball Sparking Zero game, was supposed to be the big thing, and now it's just like left in the dust. Even I don't recall this ever happening with a game like Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Like, why couldn't we have gotten a Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 is what comes into my head at times. But now the fact of the matter is, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero as a game has no content. And then people make the excuse that it's a fighting game, so therefore it's excusable. But no, silly, it's a Dragon Ball game. It's not a traditional fighting game, and quite frankly, if we were to judge it based on the merits of a fighting game alone, it would be shallow or at least mid at best. But obviously this is contentious, and there are going to be a lot of people who don't like what I say, and I don't really care. I don't care if I come across as angry or rageful, because this is my opinion, and my viewpoint is that Bandai Namco could just be doing a lot more for this game. But no, nah. As it stands right now, yes, there is a possibility that it could still get announced in the future on release. But they're making a dumb mistake by not having it featured on Nintendo Direct. They're making a dumb mistake by being so secretive and just not talking about anything about DLC 2. They're being so stupid about the direction of the DLCs that they have by, you know what, just characters only, little to no stages? Like, what is wrong with this company? And why is it that I feel like I'm one of the only people who's like pushing back against this? I'm just tired of the whole positivity nonsense that people keep spewing. So overall, will Dragon Ball Sparking Zero eventually come to the Nintendo Switch 2? Yeah, more than likely. Will it come on release? I don't know, because this company doesn't say jack squat. Will it come after a few months after the Nintendo Switch 2 releases? I would be very disappointed. And if that's the case, then it's very possible that, you know what, they might try and do one of those things where the game doesn't come out until DLC 3. And what is that supposed to be in the September and before? Like, it makes no sense to me. We could have a proper Dragon Ball Sparking Zero game on a handheld like the Nintendo Switch 2, and instead it's just forced. And instead, the only way to play it on handhelds is if you have a Windows type of PC or the Steam Deck. But it's like not everyone wants that. People like the Nintendo for exclusive games and because they're optimized for the consoles. So just add it in, or at least be more transparent, stupid company. Come on, man. Ugh, whatever, man. I'm just like so tired of this company. So tired. So many things I just so frustrated about.